Hi guys, how's it going? So a couple of weeks ago, I posted my desk and software setup with the new M1 Max MacBook Pro, and surprisingly, the most common request I got there is to show how I set up my macOS terminal. So I'm going to do exactly that in this video. Before we get started, I'll be doing everything in a bunch of steps from installation to configuration and running some scripts. So there'll be a bunch of links I'll be copy pasting around. Don't worry about what's going on in the video. Eventually, I'll paste all of those in the description below, either as separate steps or as a single link so that you can follow along. All right, let's get started. Okay, before we start up setting up the new terminal, we need to install a few things. First thing I install is Homebrew. That lets us install some other dependency fairly easily. So you want to copy the Homebrew install link and just install it over here. All right, so Homebrew is installed. We just need to copy these two commands. This is in the path. Just copy those, paste them here, and then we should be able to quit terminal and restart. So the next thing to install is iterm2, which is the terminal we'll be using to configure all of our stuff. So we can just do brew install cask and then iterm2. I already have iterm, but in your case, it would just download a fresh copy and install it. The next thing you need is git. So you want to install git because we will clone a couple of repositories that are our profiles or some settings later on. So you can do the same thing. You can do brew install git. I also have git already, but if you don't have it, it will just download the latest version and install it for you. Cool, so git's done. All right, so the next thing we want to install is called omyzsh. So we'll copy the script to install that, which is this. Again, this will be in the link in the description below, so you don't have to worry about remembering it. So that's installed, so we can already see some improvements over here. All right, so the next step is to install some fonts that have special icons and symbols that will make our terminal look pretty fancy. I'm gonna paste the link. Again, this will be in the description below, so don't worry about it. So you just want to go here, go to download and download this font. So it should be in your downloads. You can then open font book and then basically just drag and drop font. That should install it for you. So we're all set over there. This is good to go. So the next step is to install the theme that we'll be using in our terminal. And this is called the Power Level 10,000 or 10K. So basically what we want to do is we want to just clone this from the repository and have it put in the default ZSH path inside the themes folder. So we do that. So clone that. That's good. So at this point, we're pretty much done with our default terminal. So we can close it and then start with our new terminal. Perfect. All right. Let me make it slightly larger so you guys can see. So the first thing to do is kind of customize the colors here. You can go to the preferences. You can either do command comma or just go through the menu. And then the first thing you want to do is create a profile. I don't want the default, so I'll just create my own profile here. We'll set this as default and I will delete this default profile. All right, so we've got our profile. So in the colors tab, as you can see here, we have a lot of different colors and you can get creative and customize this yourself. But if you want it exactly like mine, I've saved my profile. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna download that. All right, so what you wanna do is just visit github.com/authorized/iterm2 And then here I have my color theme saved up. So you can just click here and then just click on the raw button, select everything, then copy that. Then go back to your terminal. You can either create your folder or just save it in your root folder. You can just do iterm colors. Make sure that's your extension name. Fire that up. Just paste everything, save it. And then if you now go to the preferences and then click on profiles and then hit over to colors, you can see color presets over here. So you just drop that down, hit import. And if you go to your main folder and select that, you can load up the colors. Perfect. And then over there, you just select the color theme and you should get the theme that I have. Okay, that part is done. So while we're already in preferences, let's make some more tweaks so that we can make it look good here. So let's go over to the text tab, and over here, by default, you can see the font that's selected in Monaco. So we want to go here and select the font that we just downloaded a few moments ago, and that's Source Code Pro. Then you can select it to be 14 or whatever size you like. I like using ligatures. Ligatures is basically if you have like triple equals, it's just going to make a long line, or not equals to, it's going to add like a font to that. If you don't want, you can skip that. I also like to include a status bar with CPU and RAM usage and things like that. So for that, what you want to do is you want to head over to session, and then you can do status bar enabled, and then you do customize. And then obviously you can get creative with this one too, but I just usually go with CPU, RAM, which are useful when you're building something. I wish they had GPU as well if you're doing some GPU intensive tasks, but they do have hooks for Python, so you can actually write your own script to build something like that if you're interested. Then network as well, especially when you're downloading large images of Docker and things like that, that's useful. And then usually I also add a custom action, and then you can click on it, and then you can do configure component, and then I usually just do new tab with the profile. I usually use the shortcut, but if I'm already using the mouse, it's easier to just click on it. So that's that. And then for rainbow, I usually use light colors. Perfect. Then we can sit OK. And that's all the configurations we need for now. So we can exit out of this. All right. So the next step to do is to set your theme to power level 10K that we just downloaded. So what we want to do is we want to be in the root user folder and then just open the ZSHRC file. And then by default, the theme will be set to Robbie Russell, who actually created this stuff. So you just want to replace that to use power level 10K that you just downloaded earlier. Hit save, close code, and then we should just restart the terminal. So if I do iterm again, it should pop up with a configuration wizard. Let me get rid of this. Configuration wizard for the power level 10K. So you can do no over here. So I'll ask a bunch of questions to make sure we've got the right symbols and stuff. Does it look like a diamond? Yes. Does it look like a lock? No. Does this one look like a lock? Yes. Does this look like a Python logo? Nope. Do all of these icons fit between the crosses? I mean, some of them are kind of squished over, so you can say no. So it'll let you see what kind of theme you want. Let's go with the rainbow. Do you want Unicode or ASCII? Let's pick Unicode. And then do you want to show the current time? I usually pick the 24-hour format. Do you want angled or vertical? I pick angled. Do you want sharp or blurred? I pick sharp. Do you want flat or, like same options? I pick flat. Do you want one line or two line? One line, compact. Few icons or many icons. Let's just pick many. Concise or fluent. Let's just pick concise. I like transient prompts. I don't want this prompt appearing in every single command. So I pick yes, click verbose, and then apply changes, yes. All right, this looks good, but there are a few things I forgot to do previously. I want the status bar to be at the bottom, and I think the color scheme didn't apply properly. So let's change those things. So for the status bar, if you hit appearances, there's status bar location over here. You just do bottom. That should take care of it. And then for profiles, if you go to colors, there is this. And for some reason, let me actually delete this preset and re-import it. Import item colors, open. All right, so if I select this, perfect. Now it switched to the color scheme that I use. Perfect. So if you look at this one, that looks pretty good. So the next thing to do is install a few plugins that are pretty useful. One of them is auto suggestion, which is pretty useful when you're typing commands. So to do that, we want to clone the auto suggestions plugin. Same thing, copy, git clone the repository and clone it to the default CSH location. That's done. And then we want to make sure that we enable the plugin. So we can do the same thing over here, edit the file, and then there should be a plugins here. So all you want to do is add that plugin over here, and that is called CSH auto suggestions. Save the file, quit the terminal, restart it, and then you should have auto suggestion. Yeah. So now if I just do code, as you can see, it's auto completing. So that's pretty cool. All right. This is all cool, but one thing you'll notice, whatever code editor you use, is if you fire up your code editor and launch the terminal, this will all be broken over here, right? Why that's happening is this is using the default font that your code editor uses, and we just need to make sure that we update that to the font that we are using. For that, you can just go to settings and then find terminal.integrated.font family. That's the setting. And then you just want to basically use the same font that we downloaded earlier in the video. So that should fix it. And again, depending on the IDE or the code editor you use, this setting may be different, but basically find the setting that dictates the font that the terminal is using, and the moment you change that, as you can see, the bottom is fixed. So that should automatically work as the terminal. So that's cool. We are done over there. We can end that. This status bar is kind of looking odd with this background. So what you can do is go to Profile, Session, Configure, and then Advance. And for the background color, you can just pick this and then just drop it over there so it's the same color. And then that should look much better. Perfect. Yeah. All right, so then the other thing to do is enable the Quake-style terminal. So Quake-style terminal basically means, for those that you've played the game, to enter quick commands or to enter even your cheat codes or whatever, you could do Control tilde sign, and then a console would drop down while you're playing the game. You could put commands and connect to servers and things like that. Let's set that one up. So for setting that up, first thing we need to do is configure a hotkey. So let's go to the settings for iTerm again. And now what you want to do here is you want to go to keys and then click on hotkey, and then click on a dedicated hotkey, and then click to set. I set mine to Control tilde, but you can set whatever configuration that you want. You want to select animate on, and then probably floating window on as well. That should be good. And then So the next thing to do is go to your profile and select window. And then for space over here, you want to select all spaces. And that should be it. And then last thing to do is actually go to the system preferences. So if you go to the system preferences, you want to go to user and groups, and then select your user and then login items, and you want to add iTerm over there. Go to applications, find iTerm, and then add it over there. Then make sure hide is checked as well. So once you do that, and then let's open iTerm again. Perfect. All right, one more thing that we need to do to enable the Quake-style is go to the preferences for iTerm again, go to your profile, and then select window. And over here, we want to look at the style here. Generally, the Quake-style default is full width, top of the screen, but you can select either of the other preferences, whatever you like. And then screen, I usually put with screen with cursor. And you want to make sure all spaces are clicked. Sometimes it's not clicked by default. And then you can prefer to choose transparency. I generally don't like it because it already hides when you press Control tilde. So, but you can use it if you want. So once you've set those, you can just quit the terminal again. So then all you need to do is fire up the terminal again, and it appears on the top of the screen, and you can just press Control tilde to get rid of it. So if you have something like code open and you're coding, say, full screen or whatever, you're looking at some files, making some changes, and this can be out of the screen. But if you quickly want to see what your Git status is or something like that, you can always bring the big terminal over, press that again, it goes out of the way. It always starts by default when your computer starts, so it's always ready to go. And then as you can see, let's find something with a Git repository, and let's just clone my repository over here. All right, if you go to iTerm 2, it actually shows you the Git information over here. So for example, if you want to check out your own branch, and then let's say make some changes here, let's just add random values, save it. As you can see, it'll show you the branch status and everything like that as well. Well, that's it for the video today. Obviously, this is not just limited to how I set it up. You can get creative and mix and match plugins and different color themes and text settings to come up with your own unique design. If you found this video useful, please hit the like button. And for more software engineering and tech content like this, please consider subscribing to this channel. If you want to reach out to me personally, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at engineeringwithutsav, and I'll do my best to respond to you there. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.